Hi, welcome to the City Skylines, and today we're doing a city tour of this city that we've been building for the past 1.5 years. And after that though, we'll be touring every city that I've built pretty much ever since I played City Skylines really. This will be a two-part series. One of the cities I've built is so big, so large, and so special to me that it deserves a whole second video for itself. Alright, and let's just get started. Here's the area I've been building since last episode and stuff, which is a massive downtown and office area right next to the government district over here. It doesn't look like a downtown right now, it's just a bunch of skyscrapers, but eventually this will be the downtown if not for this very awkwardly shaped tie boundary over here. And the building right in the middle is really nice, kind of oval-shaped roundabout thingy that also doubles as a square. And right here's a road that connects the government district area to the downtown area, and it's pretty busy actually. We also have two of these transport hubs over here, that's what I can call it. This one's custom built, it's two metro lines right next to a park. And we've reached 70,000 population, yay! That's a bit sad, all we got is an airport, which is cool and all. But the most important part is that I can actually buy another tile now. I guess I could buy this one. Anyway, this part is like completely custom built. This station here isn't really open yet, while this metro line over here goes to an actual transport hub right over here. Okay, there's not much to say with this area, isn't it? Anyway, since the sun is coming out, let's just go to pretty much the first tile I've ever built pretty much. There it is. This is the interchange I replaced on episode 4 pretty much, and also this massive spaghetti highway. It didn't actually used to look this way, believe it or not. It was just a normal road, and this one was normal-ish, but this one is a stock interchange that I completely ripped out and replaced with this lovely-ish interchange. It looks fine, I think, other than how these curves are just very sharp, but that's like the other problem. This thing looks really cool. But it looks really American though. This section just looks like urban hell pretty much. But I still kinda like it. I still kinda like the designs. This one highway goes straight through this bridge and pretty much goes to the very first industrial area I built. And still the current one, because I don't really have anywhere else to build them. And of course, I had to toll them. Nothing comes for free, you know. Anyway, right next to here is pretty much the first ever district I've built here. And the smallest one too. This one highway here used to be actually just be two the roads coming through this place. Here I think was where it first intersected. Actually no, this one. And this road led to one of my first roundabouts. This one here is oddly empty for its size, because I absolutely overestimated how much traffic is going to be in here. Actually there was a time when this did have a lot of traffic, but still nowhere enough to justify this mass size. At least we have this nice walkways on here, and this metro station over here too. And right over here, across this, I think this was pretty much the first ever highway overpass that I built. This one actually still sticks around to this day because, well, this highway here, later on the sea, I completely ripped out and removed this entire highway, but this overpass still remains. This area here, this one was actually a pretty hilly area, but I completely moved and flattened them out. I'm not sure if that was very good or anything, so let's just go over here. Let's go back to this area and follow this corridor. This was the first main dedicated corridor I actually built. This one was actually designed to handle lots of traffic. It does seem to have lots of traffic, other than this part. Yeah, I think all this traffic here was actually caused almost entirely by our industrial district over here. My plan is to actually move it to this side of the city, right next to this university right over here, but I can't really move them yet. Oh yeah, this part is also Math University. We'll go back to it later. This is still the main core of the city actually, and it runs from here pretty much all the way to the new downtown over here. I even built a metro line next to it too. It goes straight over here, straight to the first high density area. And it goes green cities too, so it looks really nice. This one's a bit an outlier. But there were like some shops over here. This one, I didn't actually intend to have any shops here, but I figured out this looks nice enough, so I kind of kept them in. Anyway, across this space a little bit more, and we have this absolute mess. This one was like, I guess, a collector road that unintentionally became a main route, and now there's like a lot of traffic just from the west to sea coming into here. Straight up hit this four-way intersection and just gets back up like a lot. I still don't know how to truly solve this problem, honestly. And right over here, just a bit more to it, and we have a second bad interchange. This one should actually have been a roundabout. Actually, both these interchanges should have been a roundabout, but bad planning, because I didn't expect them to be that easy. These drivers are doing a lot of heavy work. This line is like always really crowded, and oh yeah, right next to this, it's also the first amusement park we built. Look how crowded it is. We've actually built 3 different entrances, and all 3 are really popular actually. And it's a 5-star amusement park too, and it's in such a small space of this. Anyway, going through this a little bit more, and we've reached the original end of the main corridor, to speak, with this roundabout here. Over here, the road still continues pretty much to the downtown area over here. Okay, I'll go back to the side slightly there, and look at that. This road is already back up all the way, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks out. This has been pretty much the biggest backup I've seen in the city so far. Maybe one day I will try to fix it. Maybe. This middle road here was the highway that I completely removed. This one highway used to go all the way, intersect with this highway. Yeah, that was a highway, and it goes straight over here and it enters the bridge and goes to this highway over here. I removed entirely this highway and replaced with a train route instead. And here's the result, a train station, right next to the government district too. Honestly, this is one of the best train stations that I've built. It looks realistic too, and I don't even have the DLC or anything, but it just looks really cool. We have the metro line that goes, this one is almost a fully underground metro line, but it goes on top of the ground for this one location only. And we have 4 tracks. I intended it to be like 1 for passengers and 1 for freight trains, but for now this seems to be able to hold up just fine. I haven't needed to use this second system just yet. Over here is our bus station. Not many buses here for now. And right over here is of course our government district and now business district. Okay, there's not much to say over here, isn't it? It's also a really nice park over here too. And of course, surrounding it, it's just hundreds and hundreds of high-rise buildings just sprawling all over the city here. When I started building this city, I kind of wanted it to be as generic as possible, I guess. And it definitely has kind of done that. It looks generic. It just looks like buildings after buildings after buildings. Not many special-ish things over here, other than of course that area over here. Over here is another transport hub. You can tell I love transport hub. That is not a metro line or transport hub or anything. In fact, the metro line is over here. That's actually the Warren Library. But it just looks nice, so nice. I just put it straight in the transport complex over there. And this brand new-ish park over here too. This one was part of the 10th anniversary pack. Oh, and something just got on fire. Good thing the fire department is here to solve that. No, they're burning City Skylines still? No! Why? Like, it's not the best game out there. We don't have to burn the entire store for it. Okay, let's go back. This one is purely a bus station and a metro station in the city, but there's still one more building. Slightly to the right, over here, is the intercity bus station. Anyway, a tip for people who are still playing this game, please don't add lines to the intercity bus station. It's purely for intercity buses. Don't try to add lots of normal buses going to the place, or it will just cause a mass traffic jam that is just really messy to solve. Maybe 1 bus would be fine, or 2 buses, but trying to make this an entire hub of buses is a bad idea. Actually no, just 1 bus would be fine. Don't put 2 buses here. Don't do it. Anyway, right over here is another road. In fact, here's like a system. I have a system of main routes. This is one of the roads, this is another one, this was the first main route and probably the most important one. But we still have this route that goes from the university through 3 roundabouts, cutting through pretty much some of the most important parts of the city. For now, it's just going to nowhere. It just ends pretty much. Oh yeah, this place also has a small little pocket. And honestly, I think parks are really great for filling a place like these. They're not large enough to build something special, but not small enough, conveniently shaped enough for zoning. I think these look great. And right next to here is this is actually the bus rapid transit line. It currently runs from this part over here, close enough to the main road edge over here, and runs all the way through another transfer hubs, and it goes through this transfer hub. It goes all the way over here. It has a few stops, and it goes through this place, cuts through lots of these main areas, and goes to the industrial area over here, and to this area that I flattened out before. Anyway, right over here, right in the small dirt paths and everything, is our university. It's not really like a university, it's more like a liberal arts college. It's a 4-star campus right now. We still don't have enough students and space, I think, to get to 5 stars yet, but we'll get there eventually, I think. We'll get there eventually. So far, we've only had space for one single sport, the track and fields. Okay, right over here is our very dark farming area. Little that small because all these roads are dirt roads and they don't have lights. And over here's the bridge. A lot of sewage treatment plants over here, and that's the industrial area. Oh yeah, a prison. Anyway, we have once again the bridge. This is actually the new bridge. It used to be a small dirt road, and then I upgraded it several times until it became this one. As you can see, it receives quite a lot of traffic. And once again, it really needs a rework, but I'm not sure which rework I really need to. And right next to this road, it's a really nice riverside community here. A lot of high rises and everything. And right in the middle is a very nice little park. Can't really expand it that much over here though because slopes and stuff, but I guess I could try doing that. And here is another bridge that crosses the river. This one has this horrible interchange because it's temporary. I kind of planned it to be temporary, but so far it has spent 15-ish years in this temporary state, which is as good as permanent right now. It's okay, this bridge is small because it's on phase 1. It only needs 2 lanes for now, and there's not much traffic either. But I'm not sure it's because it's inconvenient or because I put a massive toll right next to it. This one toll is even more expensive than tolls on the 2 highways too. Once again, let's go back to this highway because it's part of the plan for me to completely rework our highways on the sea. Instead of having 2 highways that cut through the sea and then pretty much. This part here was supposed to be straight, but again, time boundaries, I can't really go through that. And again, time boundaries again, but without a time boundary, I'll connect them straight to this highway over here, which would actually save a lot from distance if you travel from this route to this route. I also rework traveling between these areas too, because as of now, if you want to go to this road, you have to turn an interchange. I don't want to do that. I want to just go straight ahead. And then this route here would also be part of a larger ring road to get the traffic around and stuff. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the city. Though there are so many other areas, so many more areas I want to talk about, like this trolley bus system over here. Don't you think it's neat? Anyway, we are going to move on from this city to pretty much the first city I've built in City Skylines. Let's go visit that city, shall we? Here we are, Port Campbell. Oh, I can already see the Teddy-Rack interchanges and a lot of non-customer sales. In fact, that was actually the reason why I abandoned the city in the first place. It was because of all these small little messages, and it was so annoying to deal with. I just did the very sensible thing of just abandoning the city, which was, I think, probably not a good idea. This not good to sell problem, I initially thought that I could just solve them by just building more ports. So I built 4 different cargo ports. And right over here, I actually built a new port called the Port New Origin. I built 4 more ports. I even built a metro line that leads directly to Newport too. But last few didn't really take on to it, unfortunately. Because turns out, the way cargo ports work, they work exactly, and I mean exactly the same as cargo train terminals. They will be sending ships to one port and just ping pong to every singular port like this. It will be ping pong to every single one of my 8 ports before leaving. And that's the problem, because since it keeps ping pong like that, the more cargo harbors I keep putting, they still don't work because they don't actually bring me more cargo. I still actually have to build more industrial area, which was something I really didn't like. Anyway, let's not get sidetracked. Let's go to, there are 2 downtowns to see again. Oh yeah, and this one I even call it downtown too. Kinda weird, isn't it? Anyway, here was the starting tile, see. This one was, again, a classic normal-ish interchange line replaced with this partial concave, and it's really busy. Really busy. Look at my traffic areas. And right next to this downtown area is a massive industrial area. In fact, I think it was actually slightly larger than this, but I tried to remove some of the industrial zones to, I guess, shrink it and move somewhere else. That one caused all these commercial areas to have these things. Okay, this part here leads to this downtown area with some very messy area here, and there's a lot of buses pretty much going in place. Traffic, I think it could be better, 82%, which is fine. This part is absolute mess. This one is one of those absolute messes I see again. Here was the first area where I expanded to see in a massive road, a massive area, a massive train station. This was, I think, before the update, where they allowed me to change buses, so every bus could only hold 30 people, so I had to use a lot of buses and it cramped out the streets like a lot. I also didn't really know how terraforming tools work back then, so instead of using level terrains and slope terrains, I just used softened terrains for everything, which made terraforming way harder for me. But I still managed to build a really nice city, do you think? This part over here is one of, I'm not sure if this was the first or last theme parks, but it was a theme park. It was large, and right next to it is these 2 stations were part of the city, and it's very elongated shape, roundabout interchange once again. Oh yeah, over here, it's a very large and very empty road. This highway, I think, was actually a bypass. So we have this highway down here. This one's the one that goes straight to the sea and goes out. I think actually even built a small sort of rest stop here, but it was only one part of the city, so you come from there, no rest stops for you. And this was a very small rest stop too, no gas stations or anything, just some gas canisters, and a dental area, and at least there was a new joint, and the carousel for children, and a convenience store. All I missing was a gas station. And over here, this one is another road I brought straight in to the city. And over here is another route. These I think were actually 2 different highways. This one just went in and went out. It didn't catch your sea at all. And so this interchange was the one that led people from that highway to enter the city. And of course, I told them through this place, and I built quite a few interchanges here. And this, oh no, this was one of the worst. When I built this interchange, I really didn't expect it to have this much traffic at all. I built a few more after this, but most people just seem to prefer this one, and it's really cramped, really messy. And this is a highway that takes you straight into the city, and yeah, I also built a lot of interchanges. Anyway, before I come here though, let's just go to somewhere else first, because this was the first place. I didn't actually go to that area to expand. I went to this place for this massive island over here. So I built several bridges. This was, the same bridge from the first interchange. I built this soft-ish sloping road here, and it went straight, just ends over here into this island I built. And right here is one of the first ever things I built with it, campus DLC, a trade school on a mountain with, of course, the funniest name you could think of. Oh, before this, it was actually named something different, but now I just changed it to Bennett Hudson Polytechnic. Right next to it is a boulevard, and of course, the very same Neugot-Guster cell problems. And of course, a lot of lag. And there's not even a bias for fish. These people complain about Neugot-Guster cell, and you guys are complaining about bias for fish. You could just sell them straight, but no, I guess you can't. Where are the fish factories? Oh yeah, they were in the same part that, had all the interchange problems. Right there. There were like 2, which I guess explains why it's so shame. Oh yeah, over here, I completely missed a 5-star liberal arts college. Right on the sea too. Can you tell you? Like, imagine studying the sea. You pretty much have the most perfect view in this, the sea and the massive nature reserves over here. Yeah, this was the first nature reserve I built. Mount Dale, and it actually has a lot of money. It actually earns money, and there are lots of people crossing this massive nature reserve and everything. And it really does serve a very good job being nature reserve. And and there's even a road that leads directly. Is it a main gate? No, it's just a normal side gate. But for people who want to have some challenge with this very massive rate, they can absolutely drive. Not to top of Mount Dale, but to somewhere close enough to top shore. This is just ridiculous. That's like 50 tourism around. But look at this. Look at the grades. This is just, oh my god. This is so unacceptable. This is really funny. Look at this. It's not even hairpin turn anymore. It's just hell. God, that's so bad. That's pretty charming in a way, I guess. Hey, over here is a very, very nice area. This is Hemlock Shores. Right next to this place is stretches view of the sea, which obviously is really cool. But right inside here is possibly the most utterly annoying design the city have built. So this city doesn't really have a ring road. This here, for example, is the bypass to the city. It has its roundabout interchange over here, and it even has an entrance to the car train tunnel and everything. Goes to the place, which has a very nice bridge here, and has a partial covered interchange here, and it goes straight to the tunnel and goes to a toll once again. And this toll is, I guess, normal, but barely any car goes through it. The more I'm letting these tolls run, the more money I'm actually losing. And over here is just a massive road of nothing, just going through this place, and having another interchange for this road here, and then a very, very sharp turn straight to the Hammer Iron interchange. This one goes to the airport and everything. And this route also leads to this massive system here. God, the sea is so sprawling though. It genuinely takes hours for me to explore. I even have some names here too. This one is supposedly Route 86. I think that's the only route I named though. I wonder if I could solve the traffic of it though. Honestly, I don't know how to solve it. Or maybe I do. I could just upgrade this route to 2-lane like this. Maybe that will solve traffic problems. Would it? Actually, the light does turn right, it turns out. But there's still another problem to this. The second interchange. This one doesn't have as many problems with the interchange, but this one is definitely a problem. And over here is the Teddy Racco interchange. It looks so cool though. This is actually what we call the clover stack. This part has 2 different flyovers. If you go on this route though, there aren't flyovers, but there are 2 loosely to turn around. And this one leads to another interchange, which is slightly less cool. Thankfully doesn't back up as much though. I mean, not all partial copies are bad, but this type of partial copy is bad, I guess. Over here is, of course, downtown 2. If you need 1 downtown now, we have 2 downtowns. And it has a great skyline too, look at this. So you're onto this part of the old downtown one, look at this, just look at the skyline. But this is why is it so dark? Come on. But like, this will be the skyline you get. Genuinely looks amazing. This part here is a massive highway over here, and of course, I plan with another toll. If you go into this road, you're getting double tolled. Because why not? Back then, I think at first, this highway actually ended over here. It actually made a sharpish turn over here to a roundabout, and it leads all the way to this bridge. And so it would form sort of a messy-ish hop loop where we have to go through very complicated systems And of course, it is a very complex system, and just look at traffic jam over here. So just a very messy road. But after that, I just removed that interchange, made a normal-ish interchange to the set. There's a small ramp lead to this, down to the tunnel. This is a big tunnel that goes straight up to this Port of New Origin thing. This one was supposed to be the lead port that would solve all my not enough goods problems, but turns out that wasn't the case. Which kind of led to me sort of overcompensating in my future cities by building way too much industry. But I guess building too much industry isn't really a bad thing. And this part of downtown is so massive, genuinely so much. You go for hours and hours. I genuinely love massive roads and massive downtowns. I just love them so much. And here again is one of those small little things on the outskirts. This was intended to be very busy, but there was that much traffic here. They just keep getting busy in random places. And all the places I pretty much designed to get traffic in. Isn't it fun? I think that could be technically it for the city, but honestly I could explore the city for hours. Because I love this. Oh yeah, this place. I will call this one of the first ever new developments that I built right after I expanded the city to 25 tiles. You can see it is unfinished. That's because it is unfinished. This part was supposed to be larger. But again, because of all the not-enough goods to sell problems, I just abandoned it. Yippee! Which was probably not a good idea, isn't it? I think over here it's a very empty passageway through a train system, and that leads to the main highway over here. No, actually that's a bypass highway. And that's a massive artery leading to this new development area. Except that's not a new development, that's just a road that goes nowhere until it reaches this train metro area. Wait, what is this? Yeah, it's a train metro. This part is where the trains come in, and then here's the metro areas. It's a metro line that goes through in city. I guess this was like a small vision of what could have been. I don't know. Should I continue work on this city? Please let me know in the comments. I would kind of gladly want to work on the city again, but I'm not so sure. Because I think the city looks super cool with every little thing over here. I just love it. And also like small parts like this when I dip the highway down to make space for buildings, but it didn't really work that well, I think. Actually, it kind of worked pretty well. From looks at this place, you would not know there was a highway to this place. Anyway, it's time to move towards, I think, another city. This one I think was one I built right after I decided to be done with this city pretty much. So let's go look at it, shall we? Oh, it just crashed! Yippee! And here we are. Here's the city I built right after the end of that city, and it's way smaller though. This city is called Los Cetus, and I think it's named after a whale. Yeah, I'm gonna look for that later. Anyway, here is the main interchange that goes into the city. This used to be a clubby interchange. This is still now a clubby. It's slightly different. It's safer. That's what I can say, right? The one thing I changed was to make this route smoother. So instead of going through a turn, it went through this separate flyover that goes right over here. Then it's right over this place. And it goes all the way like this. We also have this massive industrial over here. And here's the main government office. It's way too small for a government office. Probably a local one we find. Also, it rains so much for a desert area. I mean, it's a tropical map, but it's still a desert area. Man, it rains a lot here. And there's also a lot of traffic for a small city like this. Traffic somehow is even better than like, okay, maybe because it only has 36,000, it's really spread out. But pretty much the only part of the city that's sort of crowded is this part, the Silicon Oasis area. With all the high-rise buildings and everything. Oh no, I made a left exit. Probably not a good idea at all. Hi, Editing Toaster here. After careful consideration, I have decided to completely scrap this last part of this video because I was speaking absolute nonsense. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video and have a good rest of your day.